Hello and welcome! My name's Heather. I'm a registered professional counselor, and we're gonna watch Love is Blind Season 2.
There's a little cutie.
He's in here.
Oh, yes.
I'm nervous that she's going to feel like it's not hers.
Wait, your place is so nice.
So yeah, this is my spot. This is the master.
Okay, so this is your room?
It's the rest of the DVD collection.
Oh wow,
By the way,
okay.
these are all alphabetized.
Is that a Michael Myers mask? Yeah, maybe it's a Halloween costume, or he's a really big fan of Michael Myers. Is that concerning? So just a reminder that everything that I'm saying in these videos are a complete speculation. I'm not in a session with these cast members. I don't personally know them. It's not ethical to diagnose them. The purpose of these videos is to use the events from the show to be able to talk about relationship concepts, psychology theories, and also communication skills.
He is very neat, and I'm kind of a messy person, and I'm scared that it could be an issue.
Yeah. So I can understand why Danielle is feeling a bit concerned. Living arrangements can be a source of conflict between couples, especially if they have very different living styles. He appears to be very neat, very organized, and Danielle has admitted to being very messy. She already anticipates that there might be some issues there. Now, it could be definitely worked on as a couple, and it just really comes down to compromising, right? And making compromises for the other person. So it definitely can work, especially if Danielle is able to do her best to try to keep things neat and tidy, and also for Nick to maybe not be so strict when things aren't in place or if things get a little bit messier. So there's definitely compromise that can happen, and it might also just take some getting used to as well. If Danielle has a lot of things, they might have to consider moving into a larger space or having some of her things in a storage unit and maybe some of Nick's things in a storage unit as well. We'll just have to see in the long run when they actually move in together how this would impact their daily lives, their relationship. Is it a conversation or an argument that they'll constantly have about her messiness, or him being, too anal about things being organized and having to be neat?
Rock band stuff's got to have some place to go.
It's 100% coming here with me.
Yeah. Oh wow, Rock Band. Haven't played that in years.
You would just have it out?
I do have it out.
Easy access.
But,
I get it.
Can we put it in that bin? You can't just have it out. We're not 15.
Oh. We see a little bit more examples of their difference in personality or their difference in living situations. It seems like with that comment, I can understand how Danielle may take that as almost an insult to her character. I'm sure he was joking around about it, but I think he's also a bit in shock in terms of how she lives. Now, there's no right or wrong way of how we can live our lives and how we have our homes set up, to each their own. I think he's just, a little bit in shock because it's completely different from his living situation. And maybe for him, he's starting to realize that, oh, okay, maybe the age difference is going to be a much bigger issue. And that's why he made a comment about her not being 15 anymore. And I could see Danielle taking that personally, and again, making assumptions here and speculations, but from what I've seen in previous episodes and also with her alleged insecure attachment, I could see her internally just thinking oh no, he thinks there's something wrong with me. Is he going to leave me because he doesn't like the way I live my life and the way that I have my house and how I want things to be in the house? It's quite a change in the relationship and the relational dynamics when you start living together and you start seeing little things that you wouldn't have noticed if you were dating. Again, their whole situation is very intense. They've known each other for a short period of time. Things are moving really quickly. There's such a huge learning curve to their relationship, and I think also just a lot of stress and feelings of panic that might be contributing to these heightened levels of stress or fears and anxieties that are coming out. I wonder if we'll learn what the issues were from before when Nick met Danielle's parents. She's clearly nervous.
Yeah. She gets pretty nervous.
Yeah.
About everything.
Yeah. Well, what made you want to do something like this to find love?
There was a couple different reasons.
It just also seems like the family is very skeptical, or maybe they're just quite reserved. Instead of trying to get to know Danielle as a person, they immediately ask her, why did she decide to find love this way? I mean, it is possible that they did ask her questions about herself or other questions and, icebreakers before this, and they just decide to edit all that out because it wasn't interesting.
It really is those terrible times that we've had to go through where I'm like, anyone
And
other
what
than
kind
him.
of terrible times? I mean,
Well,
you
that's
guys
what
have
I
only
was
been
saying.
together for how long?
And of course, the mom's going to want to know what those issues are, and especially if Danielle has mentioned a few times already that they've had issues or problems that they have to overcome, and she didn't have to talk about that. We'll just see how they respond to the mom's question.
Sometimes the littlest things just like blow up and escalate into big things, and then you start talking about other things.
Nick did a good job just jumping in and trying to clarify for the family, what their problems or issues are, and it seems like he was able to just give them, as much information as necessary, and he was being honest about it.
Are you going to be able to handle his obsession with twice-a-day showers?
What? I don't do that anymore.
You don't?
A little OCD about that and hand
He's
washing.
very particular.
Yes, definitely OCD
yeah,
about hand washing and hygiene.
I'm sure Danielle would figure out all these little quirks after living with him as well. Some things might be different also from when he grew up with his family till now into adulthood. One of the things that they mentioned was that he was OCD about his hygiene or washing hands. OCD, I feel, gets thrown a lot out there in the internet sphere, and there's not a super clear understanding of what it is. OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. It is a form of anxiety disorder. Typically, people with OCD, they would have reoccurring, intrusive, and unwanted thoughts, so that would be the obsessions. And they would also have ideas or sensations or a routine to do something repeatedly, so that would be the compulsions part. So, for example, hand washing can be considered OCD. There could also be counting or like certain rituals, and this would help them alleviate the anxiety temporarily. And if they miss those rituals, then they have heightened levels of anxiety. Before I forget, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to help support this channel. Also, a huge thank you to anyone who's ever liked my videos or who's already subscribed or who comments on my videos regularly. I love when you share your thoughts or your biggest takeaways from my videos, so make sure to comment below and I will do my best to respond to them.
Well, how did you know? I mean, I feel like in all the years that, we barely ever even got to know your girlfriends, let alone now you're like, oh, I'm engaged and we're going to come meet you.
And you're so, I don't want to say obsessed about the divorce. I know you've never been happy about it.
When the honeymoon phase is over, do you guys have a big enough foundation that it's of trust or whatever in each other that it's going to even last past that?
Now we see that the family is asking the hard questions to Nick. It could be just because they're very protective of Nick. And it seems like with this engagement, it seems like it's very uncharacteristic of Nick. And I think that's also why his siblings are a little bit in shock as well. And so they're trying to get a little bit more information as to how he knows that this is the right relationship and that he wants to get married to her. So the sibling order can also play a huge role in this type of conversation as well. The other thing is the roles that they played after the divorce. And it seems like everyone else in Nick's family is also aware of how the divorce impacted him.
He loved me for the flaws that I was trying to scare him away with. And that's when I was just like, there's absolutely no, I'm gonna cry.
So that's interesting that Danielle said that. It's almost as if she was purposely trying to scare Nick away, and she wanted to test him and see how he would react. It could be a form of self-sabotaging. It can also be a way for her to kind of feed into her own insecurities and also to prove herself right if he does run away from her. And then she'll have more evidence of, oh, I'm not worthy of love and, no one can love me because of this. That mindset of trying to purposely scare someone away or see how they act and test them out, it does come from a place of fear, anxiety, insecurity. And that's definitely something, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, that can be worked on. Danielle can definitely work on this and go through counseling or go see a therapist to kind of work on those insecurities that she's had from past relationships or just past experiences. That way she doesn't constantly have to test Nick or try to scare him away and see if he stays or try to self-sabotage herself, her happiness, or the relationship.
I'm okay with you being engaged if this is what you think is right for you.
I can't stop thinking about how grateful I am.
So it's nice to see. It seems that Nick's mom is happy and supportive of Nick's decision because it is his decision. And again, she's not trying to say, I don't give you my blessing, I give you my blessing. It's more so the understanding of Nick as an adult this is his decision. It seems like he's thought it through. We've asked him some questions that we had on our mind, and it seems like he's had a lot of time to think about it. It seems like they're both really happy, and they're also have a lot of similarities in terms of relationship goals, and they seem to have put a lot of thought into this as well. So yeah, I feel confident that he is happy in his decision, therefore I can be happy for him.
How do you live?
Wait, okay, say hi to Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie.
Lizzie, are you gonna be nice?
Oh,
Come here. Like, I consider
Did I
myself
just
a
see
clean
a
person,
gumball
but I would never
machine?
consider myself immaculate, so I'm kind of scared for him to see my
Oh,
apartment
wow,
for
that's
the
pretty
first
cool.
time. I know, like,
so already she's worried about Nick judging her and the way that she lives and her homes and the things that she has there. Again, this can definitely feed into her own feelings of insecurities and anxieties. So she already has these reservations that he might not like what he sees. Honestly, I think her place is pretty cool. She's got a cat, she's got a gumball machine, rock band, she's got all these cool costumes. Like, I think that's pretty cool. That seems like a really fun place to live.
how do you like it?
How did that happen?
I get ads for things, and I'm very easily persuaded.
That's scary. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. So what's your use case for these again? Like, do you just buy them for fun? Do you wear them around the house by yourself?
But I can also see that their different lifestyle can also be influenced by their different stages of life. So she is younger than Nick, and maybe she's just at that point in her life where she just wants to still have fun and she wants to socialize. She says that she hosts and has friends over a lot, and if that's something that's important to her right now, that's totally fine. It makes sense. It's also possible that maybe Nick is past this phase of his life, or maybe he never really had this phase in his life. So it's very new to him, or it's very daunting, and I think he's just in a state of shock still. And for Nick, he's a bit older and he's maybe a little bit more established, and maybe just also with their personalities, that can also be impacting their lifestyle as well. And maybe for him, he was just always very, very neat. And we kind of got some of that information also from his family as well, of him being, OCD. Danielle is just the complete opposite. She's definitely more free spirit. She kind of goes with the flow, it seems like, and she just has a lot of things, and she is prioritizing fun. And for him, I guess he's prioritizing, I don't know, maybe responsibility or cleanliness, maybe just being neat. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to navigate when they officially move in together, because I think internally he might be panicking.
We're gonna have fun. We're just not gonna break anything.
No one plans to break things.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Nick is clearly freaking out, and he doesn't really know how to handle the lifestyle that Danielle has with her friends and her social life. And I think he's worried about how that's going to impact their living situation, because she said she likes to host parties and she's going to be living with Nick. So does that mean that his things are going to get broken? Does that mean that there's going to be a huge mess? How often is she going to have these parties? Again, it could be because of the age difference. It could be because they're in different phases of their life. It could be a personality thing. It could be the values thing. So right now, maybe she just wants to value having fun and being with her friends.
I don't know. Keep talking about it, to be honest. I need a minute to get this off and just cool down for a second.
Well, I think this is a whole other side of Danielle that he hasn't seen before. Maybe she was portraying herself to be more mature in the pods. And also, I'm guessing when you're in the pods, you're focusing more so on whether or not you guys are compatible, you guys have the same relationship goals, and not so much of like, oh, this is me in my everyday life in the real world. He's freaking out because he doesn't really know how this is going to impact his lifestyle and also their relationship. I think he mentioned that they need to figure out a way to integrate it, and I think that's also the case. There could be ways around this. Maybe she would have to go to a friend's house and host parties there, or maybe they will have to go out to go dancing or something else, especially if Nick isn't comfortable having those types of gatherings or those types of parties at his place, and he's more so wants just, a quiet night in and host a dinner and maybe watch a movie or something like that, something that's a little bit low key. They can definitely work around it, but yeah, he's definitely freaking out right now. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more analysis videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, be kind and love yourself.